Hi, welcome to Sportex, where we talk all things relating to the ever evolving business of sport and the people that make things happen in this vibrant industry. I'm Gerard Davids, founder of TalkX TV, where we host SportX as a content channel. I'm joined by Collins Okinyo, renowned African sport journalist, communication specialist, and founder of the website soccer25east.com. Welcome to SportX and the segment hashtag what I do in sport. Let's start off with describing to us what it is that you do in the sport industry.
Thank you very much, Gary David, for being in your Sports X Connection show. This is profound. Basically, for me as Collins, I started. I studied the communications, and basically, it drove me being a sportsman back in the days, playing in different things. It basically drove me to sports reporting, where I started locally in Kenya before moving to the regional Sekafa and going into CAF. And those days I was in all sports. I was athletics, I was doing boxing, I was doing handball. But as you grow old, you get a specific direction that you want, and that direction was for me was for African football. Then that's when I went to, I participated in African football issues, and I was appointed the CAF media expert, the only one from East Africa. We are only 10 in Africa. That was in 2017. But the new president then of African football is called Ahmad Ahmad. In Africa, basically, I've been in the space of African football journalist, covering tournaments from African Cup of Nations, women football. I've also been doing World Cup in different countries, and it's been spanning for 18 years. And at this point, I'm also now I'm traveling to different countries and teaching the sports media, the federations, or how they can do their things, how they can interpret the sports media basically to amplify what they need in their game. If it is, example, Nigeria, Ghana, I give them those lessons, and I also participate in Africa because I'm appointed as media officer in different tournaments. Like a week ago, I was in Morocco for the African Confederation Cup final, where I was the main media officer, collaborating the media houses from all over the world, both broadcast and written. So it's something that I've done, and website I started it in 2014, and it's been there basically giving out information in Africa, African football, because we are I keep on telling ourselves, if we cannot tell our own stories, no one is going to tell our own stories, because there's a culture in Africa whereby a lot of the English football and everything has come in, but we keep on asking ourselves, who is going to promote our game? So I'm one of those people who basically I am pro Africa and making sure that all information on Africa is discussed across all boards, across the social media and other forums.
No, great, yeah, thanks. So, throughout your career, Collins, what has really fueled your passion? What are you striving to achieve, and how do you use your knowledge to elevate your entire career experience now in the world of the beautiful game?
First of all, my family comes from sports. If you look at my brother-in-law, they were in the national team in Kenya for many years. And I'm pro youth development, because I believe that a lot of us in Africa, we focus on education, but we don't realize that the importance of sports, and especially football, that has, what it has done to very young Africans. So I try to portray the good image of African football, basically encouraging even more parents to come in, because we had a tendency of parents telling their kids that if you are into sports, then I don't need anything to do with you. So my work is also to dispense of information, positive information, showing of the growth, the development, and the positive things that have been happening in African football. Who would have known that a footballer from Africa will become a president like George Weah? So those are very inspiring stories that some of us are supposed to be telling them, so that we keep on encouraging the youth that are coming up, and for the future generations also.
Yeah, thanks. And in your field, what you're noticing running a website and be a communications media specialist, for various other stakeholders. What are the biggest trends that you see emerging on the horizon? And how do you plan to stay ahead of the curve to benefit your own career and your business, the website itself?
David, to be sincere, there's a lot of new trends changing. First, social media has changed the aspect of everything. Yeah, if you look at it now, storytelling is becoming different. It's not only about writing articles right now, because you have to, not everybody will have that time to come and read that article. So you have to have, as much as you're doing the website, you have to come up with stories. We have storylines, short clips, short videos that are basically going to help. Otherwise, you're going to be sucked into this, because you can see a lot of media houses are closing. They're closing because of you do not have new things of embarking, because social media has basically cut a lot of people off, because someone opens their Twitter and they're okay with the information. They don't need to go to any website. So for people like us and trying to build our careers, now we have to come with a how do we get information to the young people coming after doing the story? Am I going to be doing videos and things like that? So you're looking for other ways of getting, so that we also become relevant in whatever you're doing.
Looking back at your career path, what is the one piece of advice that you would give to someone who is just starting out in the career of sport, media, communications, and even that is looking to start a website like yourself? And also, did you have mentors, and how do you value the role of the mentor,
The last question: how do you value the role of?
the mentor,
Okay.
mentorship?
Mentorship, first of all, let me talk about mentorship is very important, because even for me, I passed through the mentorship, because I wouldn't have gotten this input. Like one of my mentors was called Emeka. He was one of the guys, a Nigerian staying in South Africa. So without him mentoring me and giving me that opportunity, I wouldn't have gotten to where I was, because I was basically a local. Like I was just doing local stories, and when he gave me that opportunity and started mentoring me to a different level, sending me to African Cup of Nations, then that is when things started opening. So mentorship is very important, very very important. No young person can do without it, because this is now it sends you to the right part of your career, and it helps you overcome challenges and that. And for me, I'm basically, it's not a very easy journey, because you have to be persistent and you have to be consistent, because not things, first of all, if you start in the journey, it's a long process. You're in the office, you're a reporter reporting in the pitch. It's not easy scaling up, but with consistency and and hard work, because you have to be persistent, you have to be someone interested. How do you get the stories? How do you have contacts? Because for me, one of my strongest thing was that I had contacts throughout Africa. I'll get a player like Eto, I would get someone, making me valuable and at least recognizable. Because if you go to a country like Nigeria, oh, they'll Collins Okinyo is there on there. Then the football president can be able to welcome me. So it's not been easy. It's been years of building up, and even up to now, you're still building up. So, and hoping for the best. But I can tell the young people that this thing is only about interest. When you have the interest and you have the consistency, then you are sure going to make it.
Yeah. So you've mentioned your network across Africa, and what word of encouragement would you give to young people, and more in particular now, because Africa is becoming borderless, with free visa access, Kenya, South Africa leading the way on that front, to encourage young people to look beyond their own country and say, let me go pursue similar or same work in West Africa, South Africa, East Africa, whatever the case may be.
One thing that is important is it's important to always try and build up a network, you see. And by that is basically networking is something that is wide. So social media and all these forums have also helped people to integrate and basically get networks across. And I'll add the young people that it's never, right now it's even better, because when you're starting this thing, it was difficult, because even all these modes of communication, the WhatsApp, they were not there. So you could imagine even getting a story for South Africa. It will take time, but right now it's just by a click of a button you can get the story. So they have got even more opportunities, because technology is changing things, technology is improving things. So if they become persistent and consistent and basically have the passion for this, then they will all be successful because it's step by step and getting the right people to show you the right way.
Yeah. Thanks, Collins, for making time available to speak to us and give some sage advice to the younger generation thinking of getting into the business of sports, media, and communications per se. So that was Collins Okinyo, a renowned African sport journalist and founder of the website soccer25east.com. Thank you for your time and insights, which is very much appreciated. That is where we would leave it for now. And thank you for watching hashtag What I Do in Sport on the SportX channel, which is hosted on TalkX TV. Until next time.